All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are y'all doing today? That's right, it's another week, it's another episode of RYC Praise News with your man on the scene, Orlando Presents. Y'all will not believe who I was able to track down and get in the hot seat today. This brother here, I'll just tell you, man. This brother here, he's a rapper, he's a video maker, he's a singer, brand new father. Let me see. This brother wears so many hats. It's just crazy. So, without further ado, man, let me introduce y'all to Mr. Brodiedavinci. What's good, brother? Welcome.
What's going on, man? I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Not a problem, man. I'm humbled, and I appreciate you coming on, most definitely, because I know you are a busy man. You have a brand new baby, so, hey, I understand. You know, your time is maybe a little bit still your own right now, but you still have to, share it out there a little bit. So, definitely, brother, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thank you for having me on, man. Yeah, I'm super busy, man. Got a lot going on, new job, about to start that and everything like that. And, of course, the baby, she's got colic, so she's not sleeping at all at night. So we're up all night, man. So it's just trying to catch whenever we can, all kinds of stuff, man. But I'm glad that you allow me to be on your platform, man. I'm definitely looking forward to getting into, some conversation with you today, bro.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem, brother. Well, let's go ahead and do that, man. I had a chance earlier today to sit back and listen to a little bit of your first episode of Brodiedavinci Radio. We're going to start off there for right now. But I was like, wow. The first thing that hit me that I did not know, and I didn't know that you used to be a youth pastor. So let the folks know a little bit about that.
Yeah, man, I was a youth pastor for 6 years. I worked at a place called the Mustard Seed Ministry, which was an after-school place for kids that would come in for a couple hours after school before their parents got off work and everything like that. And I was also involved in a church that I had been in since I was 3 years old. I was like 19 at the time. So I was in the nursery in that church. My grandpa used to be a deacon in that church. He preached in that church and everything. Literally, you walk out my front door of the house I live in now, and 2 steps, and you're in the front lawn of that church. Like, I live that close to it. And I was working. Yeah, it's crazy. I was working under the youth pastor there, and he brought me on to he split up the youth group into high school and middle school and put me on working with the middle school kids. So I did like 2.5 to 3 years there at that church. I left to go help up a startup church with one of my former youth pastors and did about 1.5 years there. Then I ended up leaving there for a paid opportunity at another church to take on, because the other 2 places I was just doing volunteer. But I took a paid job for about 1.5 years at another church, which I eventually ended up leaving because there were some things that were going on. I was engaged to a girl that was, her mom was my associate pastor there, youth pastor there. And when me and her broke up, she kind of made it a nightmare for me to be there. And I just felt like God was calling me away from that place altogether. So I still stay connected to a lot of the youth there, but unfortunately, just because of the bad blood with her and the relationship with her, I wasn't able to continue being in that place. So, but now I still consider myself a youth pastor. The music that I make is still me putting God's word into a format of music that the youth are checking out and things like that. So I still consider that. Down the road, I would love to get back involved in ministry and youth pastoring and things like that. It's definitely something I still have a heart for, and I feel like God has a calling on my life for. So, looking forward to see what He has. Yeah, man. So,
all right, great to hear that. Man, let's backtrack a little bit, because I know you said that you had a couple of occasions to be a youth pastor and they were free. You were basically, doing it for free, and then you got paid. Now, I would really like to know which one was before the situation with the ex-fiance or the ex-girlfriend and stuff. Which one was more I would say, beneficial to you? Not beneficial, but which one really tugged at your heart a little bit more than the other one? Was it the paid one, or was it the one that you actually wasn't getting paid for?
Well, it wasn't like I just left because I was getting paid. The situation with the church that I was at, between the church that I grew up in and then the church that I was getting paid for, the middle one, was that there were only 2 or 3 youth kids left. The rest of them had just graduated and they went off to college. So there was really no opportunity for me to do youth pastoring anymore. So when I left, it just so happened that they were paying me, and it wasn't much, man. I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. It was pennies. Like the whole month, it was not even wasn't enough to pay for food for the week. So it wasn't like I left for the money or anything like that. It was just a ministering opportunity, and I just so happened to be getting paid for it. And ultimately, out of all of them, I feel like I had the biggest impact originally in the church that I grew up in, and I think that was just because I was the most comfortable there. Now, the church that I ended up, getting paid for to pastor at, my mother and my stepfather actually got married in that church. So I still had a connection to that church a little bit, but it wasn't anything like being at home in my home church. And just, having youth that I was teaching that I had known their parents for years, and I had grown up being around and things like that, where it was just, that was where I was most comfortable and where I felt like I was making the biggest impact. But I just felt like there wasn't any opportunity for, like I said, it was the same kind of concept. I was doing middle school, so all the middle school kids were moving up to high school, and there wasn't many kids left. You know what I'm saying? So I would show up. Sometimes there'd be 2 or 3 kids, and there was nothing really going on. So, but ultimately, to answer your question, my home church was where I felt like I made the biggest impact for the kingdom during my ministry.
Amen. Now, let's back up a little bit. Where, as you were a child, things of that nature, were you a PK kid, or and if not, where did the love for Christ start coming into your life?
Yeah, no, I've recently met my biological father for the first time, probably 3 or 4 years ago, and he's heavily involved in church, and his kids are in church and everything, but I never knew him growing up. My stepfather wasn't involved in church. My mother wasn't involved in church. She actually was a practicing Wiccan for a little while, which is like witchcraft and stuff like that. So we would occasionally go to church when I was younger because of my grandpa only. That was the only reason I was involved in church, because my grandpa was a deacon there. So I grew up going to that church. I was in the nursery and all that kind of stuff, but it had nothing to do with my parents. It all had everything to do with like my grandpa and stuff like that. So I wasn't a PK by any means. My parents didn't raise me in church, but they would go just because my grandpa was there. So it really was all my grandfather. He was the glue that he was the reason I was there.
Shout out to Granddad. That's right. Shout out to Grandpa, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. So what about your love for music? Where did that come from? Did that come from the church, or did that actually come from, secular music, and then started moving over to Christian music once you started changing your life?
Well, bro, I have a really complicated it's really complicated. I remember vaguely, like accepting, starting Christian music, kind of, but music as a whole, I've been listening to country music my whole life. I grew up, my mom, country music is still today my favorite genre, and I write country music. I play the guitar a little bit, but I just can't sing that well enough to do that as my primary. And if I could, I felt, and if that was what God wanted me to do, I would do it. I love country music, but I don't even really listen to much rap music. It was around when I got into high school. I joined the basketball team. I played basketball in high school. There was a kid on my team. His name was Reed Clark. Shout out Reed Clark if you're listening to this. He was a Christian rapper, and I just started listening to like Lecrae and stuff too, and I thought Lecrae was cool, but I didn't think I'd ever be able to do anything like that until I met this kid on my basketball team who was actually making music, and I was like, okay, well, I can do this too. So I ended up accepting Christ for the first time when I was like 13, and I say the first time because it wasn't a true, genuine, authentic acceptance. When I was scared of going to hell. somebody told me I was going to hell if I didn't believe in God, and I was just scared. I didn't want to go to hell, so I did it, but I didn't change my life. So around 15 years old, when I started, I accepted Christ when I met this kid in high school, and it was legit. It was genuine, and my life started changing, and I started, making music from there. And I fell in love with Christian hip-hop because of Lecrae, because of Flame, and because of this dude that I played basketball with. Man, honestly, he's not doing Christian music anymore. I don't even know if he is necessarily even living the lifestyle. I don't talk to him much, but shout out to him for helping me out along my journey, along my journey and getting me started, because, I've come a long way since then. I've had ups and downs, but I've come a long way since he helped me start out, man. So,
amen. Shout out to that brother, and hopefully he is at least still living a lifestyle, even if he's not doing the music. But I disagree with you, brother. I believe that you could do country music. I mean, I think you could do whatever, and it sounds cliche-ish, of course, but I believe you can do whatever you put your mind to doing, because the song, the gospel song that I heard you sing, I was like, wow. I mean, this brother sings as well. I mean, come on now. Man, you're a rapper, but you're not. Say it again.
That was so much auto-tune on that song, man, but I tuned it so you couldn't even tell it was on there. I cannot sing, bro. I'm telling you, I cannot sing. I don't know how to Hey,
well, that's all right, though. So you got the Britney Spears thing going on there, so it's all good.
Call me Brody Spears.
It's all good. I was like, man, that brother can croon. Listen to him. But so when was the first time, man, you did one of your songs, one of your gospel raps, and somebody actually told you, man, you really have something here?
Oh, man, not when I first started, for sure. I still I found some of my stuff from, not when I first started, but maybe a couple years after I first started. I found some of that online the other day, and there's 20-something songs, and I'll send it to you if you want to hear it. But I sent it to BRM the other day and was just laughing, just listening to it. It was so bad, man. I mean, I always had a good flow and a good cadence, but I never found my voice. So, I never really knew how to project my voice. So I had a good cadence and good rhyme and good flow and everything. But I just, like I said, I never knew how to project my voice. So it's probably not until, I don't know, 10th or 11th grade. 11th grade, I started building a little fan base, and a lot of people at my school actually started catching on. But it was tough because they didn't want me to do Christian music because, in high school, I was on the basketball team. I was around a whole different demographic than I ever been around. And that's where rap became most prominent in my life, was because I grew up listening to country music around a bunch of white people. And I joined the basketball team, and I'm one of the only 2 white people on the team, and it's just rap all the time, and it consumed me. And I fell in love with it. And, people were rapping on the bus on the way to games, and I'm beatboxing for them, but I was too scared to actually rap because I just started, so I would just let them rap while I was beatboxing, and I would go home, and I would write songs, and I'd record them, but I wouldn't let anybody hear them. So until my sophomore, junior year, I started putting stuff online, and people started telling me, yo, this is good. I had people, Facebook had just started getting really popular. People were sharing my stuff on Facebook, and I was getting views, and people in school were hitting, that never talked to me. Popular people coming to me like, yo, what's up, man? But I heard that song. And I was like, man, that's crazy. People were actually liking what I'm doing. And that's when, I just started saying, hey, maybe I got something here, and I just kept going with it.
All right. Fantastic. So the name Brodiedavinci, let's break that down for the folks that may not know the story behind that. How did you come up with that name?
That name's only 3 years old. When I first started doing music, I went by C. Eric, for Christian Erickson, and the dude Reed Clark that I was telling you about actually came up with that for me. I was like, dude, I don't have a rap name. He's like, I'm gonna help you out, and he came up with it. We were doing remixes. We did a bunch of Soulja Boy remixes back then. We were performing them in my church. Then I changed my name to Crosstalk, which didn't last very long. The guy who actually made that name and gave it to me wanted it back, so I gave it back to him. I went back. He said, I want that back. That's hard. I want it back. So I ended up going. I came out with a new name called Kid Redeemed, and I went by KR Kid Redeemed. I went by that for years, bro. I mean, that was the name. Everybody knew me as KR. You can search Kid Redeemed on YouTube right now, and you'll find albums, mixtapes, albums, man. And that's kind of along the phase I was just telling you about, the stuff that I sent to BRM that I'm not so proud of. But there was some stuff towards the end of it when I started going by my government. I started going by Christian Erickson, and the end of Kid Redeemed and beginning and like the whole part of Christian Erickson is when I started like kind of trying new things and finding myself. And you can hear it in the progression of the music year after year. So after going by Christian Erickson for so long, I dipped into secular music for a while and went as Logic, which is weird because literally right when I stopped doing secular music and was like, nah, I got to get back into Christian music, the real rapper Logic started coming out and getting popular. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, he took my name and everything. But and then so Brodiedavinci, sorry to keep drifting off topic. I just feel like there's a lot I had to explain to get to this point because this was like a really hard choice for me. The name was like my brand, you know, so I changed it so many times that I felt like people took it seriously. And with Brodiedavinci, at one point I got so down on myself, I was gaining weight, I wasn't happy in life, and somebody broke it down and was like, you are a work of art to God, you are his greatest work of art. And I was like, well, if I'm a work of art and I'm an artist, you know, and I was in a group called Election Shore, and they all called me Brody. Like, they just started calling me that randomly for like 3 years. So at first my name was just going to be like Brody. I was going to go by Brody. But then somebody broke it down, was like, you're a masterpiece of guy. And I was like, Da Vinci was a dope artist. I'm a dope artist. Brodiedavinci. And I put it together. People didn't like it at first. Once I started saying it, my music and being creative with how I was saying it, people started, you know, flocking to it. And I like it because there's nobody else named Brodiedavinci. You type in Brodiedavinci on Google, I got the first 10 pages to myself. Like, that's just an uncommon name. You know, like, you say Brodiedavinci, right. There's not 3 people you can talk about. You know, there's one person
right.
You talk about Brodiedavinci. So that's how that came about. It was just all in it has a meaning behind it, but it was all just in the brand. I was trying to find, you know, something that would brand well, you know.
Yeah. I like the name. I mean, definitely when I first heard the name, I was like, Brodiedavinci. Wow, okay. You know, pretty cool. Yeah. Most definitely, and the brother can flow on top of that. Let's jump into the album 20 Seconds that you and BRM put together. Now, I spoke with BRM, you know, of course, and we were talking about the album, things of that nature. So what was going through your mind when you all was talking about putting the album together? What was it about BRM, and what was it about the album that you were like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this?
Well, I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was in a group. There was 4 of us. Me, B-Dub, which you've probably heard some of his stuff. He's on a lot of my features. P. Grant, I've been promoting him heavy lately, and a dude named Chris Sims, who went by C-Next. We won an award in 2013, Holy Hip Hop Song of the Year with the Rhythm of Gospel Awards, and we were making some noise. Like, we were really moving. We've been to Chicago, we've been to Milwaukee, we've done shows all over the East Coast, all kinds of stuff like that. And like, we just been all over doing stuff. And when I was at my prime, I think music making wise, when I was with them. Now, when that whole group like disassembled because of family things and people having kids and things like that, I was by myself once again, and I was having a really hard time creating because I didn't have anybody pushing me, and it was just tough. And me and B-Dub were doing stuff. We had an album we were working on, but you know, he lives, you know, even he didn't have his own studio, so when he was having to do stuff, he was having to do with me, so our schedules were having to, you know, align perfectly to do music, and it wasn't working out as often as I wanted it to. So when BRM, I met him through Alicio. Alicio put me on it. He heard one of my songs randomly on YouTube somehow. You know how God works. You don't even know how to explain it. It just happens. And he put my song in rotation, and BRM heard it one day on an interview and was like, yo, who's that? Alicio told him. He added me on Facebook. He just started talking to me from there. And BRM put out this competition. Whoever can put the hottest verse on this song will win $50. Do a song, be on a song on my album, blah, 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 all this stuff. I was like, okay, I don't really know this guy that well. I've been communicating with him a little bit over the past few days because of Alicio's Connect, but I'm going to do this contest. So I did it. He put it out in literally like 30 minutes, had my verse up, had my video up and everything. I was so, there was something about BRM, his aura, like something about him. I was like, I can tell this guy puts in work. Like, I can just see it in his body of work and his music I'm listening to. Like, I can just tell he's serious about working hard. So I went in and did what I had to do, and I ended up winning the competition. And during that process of talking to him through the competition, I joked around. I was like, hey, man, we should just go ahead and do an EP together. And we laughed, but it ended up happening. And we threw a bunch of – and, bro, we did – I don't know. I think there was 11 songs on that album or 12 or something like that. Well, it didn't even take a month to get it done. We were done with a matter of a week. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
And it took less than a month, and we had that thing done, bro. And what it was about BRM was just that it gave me somebody to work with who excited me again, who pushed me. And not saying that Wes didn't, because B-Dub and me, when we're in the studio together, oh, man, we can make hits all day. But the problem was that it was just really hard to get us together because he didn't have a studio.
Mm-hmm.
BRM studio. He recorded something, sent it to me, said, get on this. And I was excited, and I get on it. And, you know, we pushed each other. And yeah, man, so it just, you know, that's with BRM, that's how it happened, man. It was just somebody just sparked that fire in me again, you know. So he really sparked fire in me again. He still is to this day, man. We got some stuff coming, and be ready, bro, because it's getting crazy.
Amen. Hey, I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. I already done said I'm waiting for, you know, the 20 Seconds Part 2 or something. But yeah, because that album's still in my hot. Say it again.
I said I won't say nothing other than this. Just be ready, bro. Just be ready.
The album's still in my hot rotation, so definitely. So just to let y'all know out there, if you're listening, make sure y'all go to Spotify, go wherever, purchase 20 Seconds, listen to 20 Seconds. I mean, that joint will be in your hot rotation as well, so definitely on that. Now, just a couple more questions, man. I know you love YouTube. You're doing the video thing and stuff like that. Your subscribers are really shooting up there. Let the folks know about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is called Brodiedavinci Vlogs. And basically, I just vlog my life. And where it really started was I followed this guy on YouTube named Devontae Friga. He was a D3 basketball player, and he made himself popular by documenting the entire D3 experience, from the living situation to game day vlogs. Like, he just made D3 basketball, like, really popular, and he became super popular on YouTube. So one day, I was listening to beats, and I just came up with this. I was just vibing, just messing around. I just hoop like Friga. So I recorded it. And I did a whole song, and I uploaded a snippet of it on Instagram, and he heard it, and within a few minutes, and I never thought he would hear this. He heard it within, like, seconds, because I tagged him in it, and he had so many followers, I never thought he'd hear it. Within seconds, he was in my inbox, call me, here's my number, blah, blah, blah. So I called him. He was like, yo, this is fire, send it to me right now. I'm putting it in all my videos, you know, this, that, and the third. We're flying you out to Florida to shoot the music video, all this stuff. So it was one of those things, stuff like that. Yeah, so I sent it to him. He put it in his videos. People started asking where the song was, where they could hear it. He shared it a couple times, whatever. The views started going up, and I was like, you know what? I can do this YouTube thing, and I want to. I love sharing my life. It'll help from a music standpoint if people finding out who I am as a person anyways, by vlogging my daily life and who I am, and not just posting my music, but just like giving them who I am as a person, so they feel like they know me when they listen to my music. So, you know, he helped me a lot with most of my subscribers, came from that song. We never ended up doing the video. I drove up to Ohio. They invited me up there because quarantine. He ended up having to stay in Ohio where he went to college instead of going back to Florida. I drove all the way there, 10 hours, got there to be stood up and not get the video shot and everything. I met him, got to go to his apartment, play basketball with him a little bit. It was cool, but they never shot the video. So when we came back, I had to pay to get the video done here. It didn't turn out as good as it could have been, but Lord willing, the numbers are going to keep going up. The numbers are, I got to like 20,000 views in like 4 days, which was crazy. But now it's at a standstill, up like 21,000, like not going anywhere. But And it's weird because I own the rights to that song. I own the rights to the beat and everything, but somebody's got a copyright claim on it. So I disputed the copyright claim, but there's some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes, so trying to figure that out. But ultimately, the YouTube thing started because of him. He inspired me because I played basketball and he played basketball. So I do a lot of basketball content. I do fishing content because I go fishing. I documented when we got matching tattoos. I documented the experience when Harmony was born in the hospital. I do everything, man. I just want people to see who I am as a person, so they get to know more than Brodiedavinci the artist. They get to know Christian Erickson. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. If anybody's listening, go follow Brodiedavinci Vlogs, VLOGS, on YouTube. Subscribe, all that stuff. So
most definitely. Now we're gonna wrap it up with the question of the day. You know, I had to ask this question to the man. I asked everybody else. I asked J Dunn. I asked BRM. Now I have to ask you. What was it about Rapture Ready Productions that you definitely had to ink that name on the dotted line and start rolling with them instead of going ahead and starting up your own label and doing something yourself?
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot to unfold in that question, but what I can say that made me make my decision was the relationships that I had built, because through BRM, I built a relationship with Jay Knight. Me and Jay Knight have a dope song out called Psycho, and me and him have talked so much past like few months, man, and what's on our hearts. Jay Dunn, super dope. I did a song with him on my last album as well. And, you know, when they sat down and asked me, you know, it wasn't just a business move. I mean, of course, that's always involved. Like, they want to elevate the level to the next point based off your skill point. But when they came at it, was like, look, we love you, bro. If you don't want to do this, it's no bad blood. Like, we're still going to rock with you. We're still going to do projects with you. You're still Rapture Ready fam. Like, if you don't sign with us, it's not the end of the world. We just want to offer it to you because we feel like we can help you. We can get you graphics. We can do video. We can do all this stuff. And they just had so much to offer, but the biggest thing was just the relationship, man. And me and BRM, like, I've never met him in person because he lives in Chicago, but I talk to him every day, like throughout the day, just all day we're messaging each other. You know, Jay Knight all day, every day, Jay Dunn all day, every day, and everybody else on the team too, Jeff and TC. You know, we're all just building bonds together, and it really is more. To me, it's all about relationship more than the music. And because if I don't, you know, I'll make music with people all day and just let my verses go out there. But I work best when I know the person, like I know their heart and I know where they're at. And me and BRM have that, and me and Jay Knight have that. Me and Jay Dunn have that. And when they asked me to come aboard, it was just like, you know, telling my family, yeah, you know. So it just felt right. I felt God-led. I prayed about it for 2 days before I made my decision, and I felt like it was the right decision to make. So,
man, that's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful, man. I mean, that's the same thing that I've always said. If you're going to be within any relationship with a person, working relationship, business relationship, personal relationship, you have to have that bond. You have to be able to build on something and be able to mesh together, you know, to be able to build on something beautiful. And I believe that you all do have something beautiful together. I've heard the song with you and Jay Knight, Psycho. I've heard, you know, the song with you, BRM, Jay Dunn, and Jay Knight, and I forget the other guy's name that y'all did on 20 Seconds and stuff. I mean, everything that y'all have done together has been, you know, great, has been outstanding. You know, I really dig it. So shout out to all of y'all, man. I hope everything works out, you know, forever for y'all. Y'all just keep on building and keep on doing your thing. Now, just because you're within Rapture Ready Productions North and things of that nature, doesn't mean you can't branch out and start up, you know, another division under you. So is that ever going to be a possibility?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm actually taking, and BRM knows this, I'm using a lot of the stuff I'm learning from him and these guys, you know, within the label to help other artists out. I've been, and in particular, P. Grant, I've been helping P. Grant a lot. I don't know if you've heard of P. Grant, but he is Man, yeah, I think you have. I think you posted that Something song that I posted from him not long ago. He's super dope, man. He's got a great sound. He was a part of that group Election Shore with me. And, you know, I'm not saying that I'm going to, like, start a label and sign him or anything like that, but I'm utilizing the tools that I'm gaining from the label to help other people. And eventually down the line, that's something I want to do. So maybe not a label, but maybe working with a label to help our, you know, doing something. That's always the goal, is just to help the kingdom and help other artists get their music out there. That's why I started the DaVinci Radio, to get, you know, not to get people signed, but it's because I got so many connections with different artists, and all these artists haven't heard of each other. But let's say I put P. Grant on a song, and A-Easy hears it, and he's never heard of P. Grant before, and he's like, yo, they add each other, they build a connection off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I want, is just to help artists get their music in front of other artists and build connections and build relationships, because that's really what helped me get in the seat I'm in right now. So.
Right. Amen. Well, let the folks know, man, how they can get in contact with you, especially if they want to set up an interview with you for your Brodiedavinci Radio and everything.
Yeah, so basically, you can hit me up on Facebook. My Facebook name is Christian Brodiedavinci Erickson. Brodiedavinci is spelled with a capital B, then R-O-D-I-E, then a capital D, then a lowercase a, capital V, then I-N-C-I. So it's all one word. I know it's long, but that's how you spell it. Capital B, capital D, capital V. And if you just search that on all social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you'll find me, TikTok, YouTube. You can find me. You can contact me on any of them. I run all my sites, so I'll see your messages. You want to get on an interview, we can do it. You want to do a song together, we can talk about it. I'm down for whatever. So yeah, if you want to hit me up, Brodiedavinci. I mean, it's pretty simple. Ain't nobody else named Brodiedavinci. And if you find somebody else named Brodiedavinci, report them to me so I can sing God on it. He can unload his fat Honda. That is my name.
Most definitely. Well, brother, it's been a pleasure, man, sitting down talking to you. There's a lot of information that I didn't know about you, some that I did, but, you know, it's all good, but it's out there for everybody else to learn a little bit more about you as well. So nothing but love and respect for you, man, and I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing as a man with your, you know, with your moms, with your baby's mom, with your baby and everything. I hope she gets healed up very quickly so that everybody can get some sleep. Yes.
Thank you for having me on, man. And anytime you need anything, bro, you hit me up. You know, it's all love. I'll do anything you need. Like I said, anybody want to hit me up, Brodiedavinci on everything. So just thank you again, man. And I'll be praying for you and praying for everything you got going on, man. And I love you, bro.
Appreciate it. Love you too. All right. Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the wrap of RYC Praise News. And we're going to keep you next week. You know what I like to say. We are out here.